Talk of the berry, sweeter the fruits, deeper the wound, deeper the roots. And I'm in it. Hey, I'm drowning in it. Hey, I'm in denial, deep in denial. I'm in denial, deep in denial, 'cause I'm good. What's up, patrons and patrons only? Y'all know how we do for Sundays. It's just you and I, baby. It's you and I. I'm dressed down, ready to get into this dissection. Got to match colors. Got to coordinate. Is what we like to call it where I'm from. We like to coordinate. So welcome. I am your host, JustLatasha. We have a ton of new patrons who have joined the platform. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for my OGs. I'm so grateful for the new people. I'm so grateful for your energy and your presence each and every Sunday. Let me just tell you how we're going to set this up, right? Because we are coming to the end of the month. Usually the last Sunday of the month is where I have my VIPs on the live stream for Boozy Brunch Sundays. So what I'm going to do, because these Sundays are going to be a little different, we may have two VIP Boozy Brunch Sundays next month to compensate for the missed VIP section this month. So this Sunday is going to be episode 1. Next Sunday, which is the last Sunday of the month, is going to be episode 2. And then for episode 3, we're going to go back to the lives on YouTube, the general admission lives on YouTube. So then the following Sunday, we'll go back to Boozy Brunch Sunday. So we're going to be missing 2. And to compensate for those who have VIP access to those brunches, we're probably going to double up in September. September 5th is my birthday. Key up because we're going in. Okay. I'm still showing up. I'm still doing what I got to do. I'm just aging and taking another year around this God-given sun. Okay. Around spinning around this universe like we going brazy. All right. So I'm very excited. My birthday is coming up. I'm excited to dive into this work. I'm excited to get to know so many of you, my new patrons. So excited to continue to get to know my OGs and spend time with you. This one was highly requested and looked forward. So I want to see who's in the room. We got Mac, we got Tia Maria, we got Leslie. What's up, Mara Charisse? Callie girl's here. Ella's here. I see ya. I see ya. Mara says she need her $20 back from the San Fran film. Dang, it's like that. It's like that. Look, that movie, I feel like people are split down the middle. Some people are like, you need to see this film, and other people are like, what was it for? I haven't seen it. I've been requested to watch and give opinions on it. Here's where Jordan Peele has got me in his nook. Okay, I've said many a times on my YouTube channel and on the Patreon streams, I'm cool on slavery movies. I'm cool on Rosa Parks Back of the Bus movies. I'm cool on it, right? We've got more than enough of the storytelling where we have Black people trapped in between slaves and free niggers. We are so much more than that. And Jordan Peele has the ability to do yet another race story, but flip it on his head so bad that is a whole new thing. And I'm here front row seat loving it. He is also getting ready to do season 2 of The Twilight Zone. I've spoken about season 1, which was phenomenal. His brain is tuned into something special. This is a Jordan Peele Stan account. I have made that very much known. We have more people joining the room. What's up, Simone? Hi, Iana. Welcome. I do see y'all in the chat. All right, let's dive into Lovecraft Country because this is such a big tale. Apologies for being 1 minute late today because I know I don't be late either, but I had to review my notes and make sure I understood what was going on because this is dense. This is a lot, okay? All right, episode 1, Sundown. It's already starting off with so much double meaning, so much triple meanings, what sundown means. And Lovecraft Country is a new series on HBO, executive produced by J.J. Abrams and Jordan Peele, as well as Misha Green. But Misha Green, a Black woman, is also the showrunner. Lead writer, I believe. Lovecraft Country is based on the 2016 novel by Matt Ruff, a white man. People were starting to have some opinions on Twitter about that, okay? Max says, season 2 of Twilight Zone is out. It's that CBS app. I do not align with it, so I'll be missing stuff. It's out. See, I have so much more to catch up on now. Thank you for that, Mac. All right. This novel that the series is based on is a fantasy horror novel exploring the conjunction between the horror fiction of H.P. Lovecraft and racism in the United States during the era of Jim Crow laws, as experienced by Black science fiction fan Atticus Turner and his family. And so, what Misha Green, the showrunner, says about the book is that this was a nice starting point. Ma'am already dragged. Ma'am already dragged. She said that was cute. But here's what I'm gonna do for the show. Jordan Peele got behind her. Okay, J.J. Abrams got behind her. And here we are. It was a beautiful jumping off point. But let's talk about the series. Where are we for this series? Lovecraft Country centers on Atticus Turner, who returns home to Chicago after the Korean War to find his father, Montrose, has gone to Arden, Massachusetts in search of answers about Atticus's mother's heritage. So Atticus takes his journey with his Uncle George, who's a publisher, the popular travel guide that's similar to the Green Book, and his childhood friend, LaTasha motherfucking Lewis. You better say her name. Say her name, say her name. LaTasha wasn't playing with not one or two of you, okay? So let's jump in where we meet Mr. Atticus Turner. You know what I love about film? Hi, Tails. Hi, Tails. Hey, Jordan. I want to make sure I recognize everybody who's in the room. Don't be shy. Get in that chat. Let's meet Atticus. And here's what I love about film. So much has been said with no words and color usage only, right? This was like the first minute, the first 2 minutes, and this is revealed so much. So let's just see visually what we're even speaking about, right? We have Atticus Turner, our protagonist, our lead, our hero, fighting a war. And with color alone, we go from black and white to color, literally merging two worlds and two time frames. He goes from fighting in the Korean War, that's back in the day, that's black and white, to fighting giant UFOs and monsters and creatures with wings in color. We're merging the past and the future right here in this little nook of the present. And Atticus is just a Chicago man, a black man with a gun. What did that little boy sing? I want to be a free black man. Why are we doing slave hymns in 2020? Okay, Max said, "Who a beautiful black man." Say that. And Atticus meets the Red Princess, and she speaks to him in an unknown language. So here's some of my research that I have compiled here for you all, so we all can understand the density of the story where we're even starting. This language is called Rylian. This is the language from Rylian, which is a secret underground city. She speaks the language to Atticus. And then we meet the Cthulhu's. Cthulhu. I am going to struggle with this name, so we're just going to move past me not saying it right. The Cthulhu, aka the Old Ones. This is the monster from the mind of H.P. Lovecraft, right? They're not even composed of flesh and blood. They're not even made of matter. They have a shape, but the shape is really not of anything. This is just what we can see with our eye, right? And they come to Earth when the stars are right. They can plunge from world to world through the sky. And you saw in that very first moment when we've gone from black and white to color, we saw this big monster flying in the air. This is it, the Cthulhu. However, when the stars are not aligned, they can't live. And they live eternally dormant under the earth and sea, where? The Rylian. The Rylian. The Cthulhus are from the same place where this Red Princess is. They all live together. So this is already really exciting. The Cthulhus have powers, they're telepathic, and they know everything that is occurring in the universe. And they're able to communicate with humans by molding their dreams. This is very important. This is the basis of this entire series. They can speak to humans, they can appear to humans and present themselves through a human's dreams. So let's meet the past meeting the future, right? A representation of Jackie Robinson. And this is paired with the opening monologue, which is a quote from the 1950 biopic, The Jackie Robinson Story. And we can see here, this series is going to be dragging America, the red, the white, and the blue. We're going to be dragging America down to her panty drawers. We want to see the skid marks and everything, because this series is letting it all hang out unapologetically. So we have a duality. You guys know I use this word a ton. We have the image of Jackie Robinson because, like Atticus, he will be both the hated and the hero of the red, white, and blue, right? And we have blurred lines of danger. Jackie Robinson using his bat as what can be considered a sports hero, the great Jackie Robinson, also using his bat as a weapon against America's monster. This bat means so much. The red, white, and blue means so much. And the black man, as both the hated and the hero, means so much. And of course, we have Atticus awakening from this dream. The same colors mirroring Jackie Robinson, right? The hated and the hero. And he has this book that he's been reading that triggers this dream. He is reading A Princess of Mars. It is a novel by Edgar Rice Burroughs, and it's a story about John Carter, who is an army captain that becomes a Martian warlord. I mean, they just spilling out the series for us. Spilling it out. Marjorie said she looked like she was charming him and feeding him towards the monster. Tamia gave protection. She was kind of holding him like, listen, there's something coming. I don't know what she said, but she was like, look, there's something coming. Come here. And she held him and they looked at it together like, it's going to be, it's going to be, all right. So we have here, you can see the luggage in the back paired with his t-shirt, really leaning into the red, white, and blue theme. And we're having his journey through war and heroism paired as the American dream. And we have the monologue continuing by saying, a young man dreams of love. However, a young boy dreams of baseball. And if you think of baseball and you think of how it resonates in American history, it's known as the old American pastime. Just as American as pie, American as good old baseball, right? The fact that he's dreaming of a baseball hero and a hero being a Black man. And he mirrors that of Jackie, who becomes the hero and destroys with his baseball bat a Cthulhu. Did he even say hi yet? Do you see how much story is here? He didn't even say hi yet. Mastery. Ladies and gentlemen, and all my babies, mastery, okay? Max said, I need that on a t-shirt. The hated and the hero. Go ahead and have that. Just cut me a little 10% on that, Matt. Cut me a little 10%. So let's look at the colors here. Again, we have the color green. We have it paired with all of these greenery, these trees, these plants. We are literally looking at our character on a new journey and setting the tone for how he feels about it. All of it could kick rocks because it's trash, and it still is trash. Atticus giving that good old American pie, that middle finger, setting the tone for Black people's attitude towards their own homeland. This is home. We have another color which will be very prominent in this series, the color brown. We spoke a bit about brown in I May Destroy You, and in I May Destroy You, brown represented in an episode like the corporate America, the status quo. So here, brown represents the American status quo. Blackness is American. Racism is American. And America could not exist without Black people and without racism. It's the foundation of what this country is. So whenever we're seeing brown, we're representing just plain Jane what it is, what the rules of the world is. And this is paired, his feelings towards his homeland, his the racism, paired with a song called Life Could Be a Dream. And the dream sounds wonderful, and he's on the road and he's going home, but it's terrible. Colors got to sit to the back, whites to the front. It's terrible. Who a dream for who? Now we're going to put our director goggles real quick for this. We have a divide of identity, and what the director did here was split the character with a vertical line. I always get those confused, and I don't know why. We're splitting the character with a vertical line. Atticus has choices and options and identities to decide between, right? So we're seeing a split because he's serving as a hero for his country, as a Korean War vet, but returning home as an enemy, right? And he's dreaming with this novel, adoring the hero in the book who defies immortal, insurmountable odds. But he says to this kind old woman, look, I'm just a little Negro boy from Chicago, and we don't get to do that, right? This is the identity divide. He's, as an Army vet, a hero, but when he comes home, he's a nigga. He also has an emotional identity divide because he's coming home to look for his father, Montrose, who has gone missing, but he don't even like his dad. And him and his dad has this funky relationship, and his dad barely wrote, and his dad was terrible, right? So Atticus is having all of these internal journeys as he's coming home. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Y'all love that shot, huh? I want to pay attention to the Coca-Cola bottle real quick, because this is also just a symbol of American history. The Coca-Cola bottle was just a symbol of just the American soda. It was that. It was, if you think of Coca-Cola, you thought of America back then. It was just as homegrown as racism. So now we have Uncle George, who is the author of Safe Negro Travel. And this is the fictional version of the very real Negro Motorist Green Book. If you guys are familiar with that terrible movie, The Green Book, it was a series of pamphlets that told Black Americans how to safely travel. Where are sundown towns? Where are the most racist cops? Where do they do the lynchings at? What part of America should you stay away from? And if you're trying to travel, what are the safest routes to take? This is a very real historical series of pamphlets. And here in this story, Uncle George is the author of those pamphlets. So we're leaning here again, leaning into the themes of the red, white, and blue with the colors. Also leaning into the brown, showing you just the status of America and what it's like for Blacks in America. But we also meet Uncle George's daughter, Dora, who creates a series of comics, and she draws all these cartoons, and she has a huge imagination, and she really loves sharing this work with her dad, George. We see here, when they thought Atticus coming up in that window was a problem, you see what Uncle George got in his hand? A bat. What is used for American recreational fun is doubled as a defense for Black Americans. We see that leaning into that again, right? We see that leaning into that right again. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna get a little more complicated, because in order to understand where we at, we gotta understand where we came from. We gotta understand the basis of Lovecraft Country and H.P. Lovecraft. So here we go. Now Angela Bassett needs to come get her man. He fine too. Look, I love me an old man. Don't play. Mara Cherie says, can we talk about the beautiful intimacy of that older Black couple? What you want to talk about, Mara? Because they was doing it. And it reminded me of my folks, overhearing my folks doing it. And I didn't want to talk about it, Mara, but you want to talk about it. So what you want to talk about? Simone said, Uncle George said he keep that thing on him. Listen, he sure do. Not that scene was getting good. I'm moving on. Y'all We're not doing that. Let's talk about Outsider and the Others. Because I can't go down that way with y'all. I absolutely cannot. This was, no, because y'all being nasty. Absolutely not. This was a book by H.P. Lovecraft, very real author, being used as a reference and a nod in this series. A white author who was one of the most influential horror writers of the 20th century and was racist. Who wrote The Outsider and the Others about the horror of other races daring to invade America. Not like white folk ain't land on native land or Mexican land, brought black folk over here. They don't want scared of other people coming into their spot. Right. And Tick, looking at this book, is learning a lesson because as a black man, this is exactly what he is. He's not even a hero in his own country. He is the outsider and the others after he just fought for him. Okay? And he flips the book to the other side to reveal this is published by Arkham House, which is a nod to H.P. Lovecraft yet again, who had a printing press, I believe is a printing press that was named Arkham. So they're trying to, or they did satisfy all of these nods to the roots of the story in this series. Y'all seen that Uncle George had a secret? Did y'all see that? All right. George was hoping Teak didn't know something, and I want to know what that something is, and I have a feeling I'm gonna hypothesize. I'm gonna get to it. So Teak's father, who's missing, knows something about George's mom, not George's mom, knows something about George and Teak's mom. So this father knows something about this mom and George. So George is a little shook right here, right? But that's not what Teak said. Teak's letter is revealing that this is from his father, and Teak has a secret legacy and a birthright. Now, it got a little funky here again because Uncle George was like, that don't sound like your daddy. So to me, it's giving setup. To me, it's giving something to be lured. You're luring Teak somewhere. Because if this note ain't really from his daddy, we don't know. But right now, we're under the belief that this letter is from his father, letting him know he has a secret legacy and a birthright, right? And by Teak's mistake, he thought the letter said that his mother was from Arkham, to which Uncle George mentions, it ain't Arkham, it's Artem. That's a whole other different thing. But here's why Arkham was important, because again, Arkham was a fake city created by H.P. Lovecraft. And H.P. Lovecraft in this city has a story called The Reanimator. And this Arkham is a fictional town in Massachusetts, and it's a 1921 story that tells the tale of a scientist who finds a way to reanimate the dead. So again, we're using Arkham to draw nods to H.P. Lovecraft in his story, but Teak was mistaken. It's not Arkham, it's Artem, and that's where his mom's heritage and legacy comes from. So they want to figure out what had happened. I'm with you. He said George is probably the daddy. That's exactly what I feel. That is exactly what I feel. I think the baby the daddy. Because look, he got too much pressure on it, right? Mac loves the messy handwriting. Mara says, wait, is he the daddy? See? This is why he treated Atticus so poorly. See, the fact that y'all really be with me, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we go together. This is exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so now he wants to find out where his daddy went. Let's look for some clues. This is Daddy's favorite bar, Denmark Vesey. Shout out to my boy Comfy Cozy, who is doing a Lovecraft Country podcast. If you guys want to get some other elements of behind the stories, my friend Cozy is doing a No Love Lost podcast. And here in tweeting about it, he let us know that this was also one of those art imitates life sequences that this series is going to be doing a lot. And so we have the Denmark Vesey, which is a nod to a freed slave. So we have Vesey's bar, right? And Vesey was a free Black man executed in 1822 for planning a slave rebellion. Come on, Freeman, George Freeman, free man. Y'all knew that. I didn't put y'all on to nothing new. So let's talk about the women, because the women are good, y'all. The women are good. Max said I was nervous about the mom being white, child. Well, it's confirmed that she ain't. we ain't got to worry about that. Except the grandma's the baby. Exactly. All right, so let's meet Ruby and Letitia, who are at odds. They are at odds, and you can bet your bottom dollar family issues and colorism is at the basis of them being in friction. So Ruby starts this song, I want a tall, skinny papa. Tall, skinny. She want a tall, skinny papa. And you can see by the looks of her, the size of her, the power of her, the beauty of her. This was an ode to the creator of rock and roll, a Black woman, Rosetta Tharpe. And this was actually one of her songs. I want a tall, skinny popper, Sister Rosetta Tharpe right there. Beautiful, beautiful imagery. And in the crowd, they request Hound Dog and a whole lot of shaking going on. And this was a drag to the white musicians who took Black rock and roll and made it that flavorless, seasonless redo, right? They did them white remixes, and this show specifically used a whole lot of shaking because they're dragging Jerry Lee Lewis, who stole whole lot of shaking from Big Maybell, right? Found that one on Twitter. The show is dragging it, right? Let's put it back into Black hands and Black musicians because this is what it's supposed to sound and feel like, right? So we have the blue versus the red. And Letitia and Ruby get into it because Letitia thinks she's gonna roll into town and get a job downtown at the good store. So I'm looking at the colors where Ruby, her size, her color, her brevity is played against a very cool blue, right? And I had to ask, like, does a dark-skinned woman have to downplay her space for survival versus a Letitia who gets to be this daring siren? Skinny, light-skinned, palatable, confident that she can go downtown and get a job down to the good store. And how the crowd, even though this is Ruby's moment, Ruby's show, the crowd rooting for Letitia. And Letitia just waltzes into a space and takes it up. A space that Ruby worked for, a space that Ruby built, a space that Ruby planned for. Letitia just gets to walk in and take up the space. That would rub me the wrong goddamn way. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Jordan with the Cadillac car, yep. Don't talk to me about dream girls, Jordan, because I would sit here for another hour. Don't do it. Yes. Got me a Cadillac. Took all the flavor out of it. Exactly. And so you can see how colorism plays in how Black women had to be pitted against each other. There's things that Letitia could go ahead and do, live out loud, and Ruby has to simmer down, as big as she is, a force as she is. So I'm gonna go back. I think the grandmama the baby. Look at these colors, y'all. They look too much alike. They look literally like they're mirroring each other, right? And in this gold, brown, yellow tone, Tika's giving descendants. He looks like a descendant of George. With the family lineage sitting right in between them, a wound sitting right in between them. It's giving lineage, y'all. And here we're starting to see George's daughter, Dora, drawing monsters on the map for George. While he's using these maps to curate the safety Negro travel pamphlets, Dora is using these maps with her imagination and drawing these monsters per stop. And George is like, she's just dreaming it, she's imagining it. But again, let's remember how these monsters appeared to Atticus in his dreams. It's giving half sister. Is it me? Is it me? It's giving half sister. They got the same bloodline, same power almost. Look, Simone said they look just alike now that you say it. Look, it's giving half sister. I don't know. I know if I'm wrong, I'm standing in it, but I'm just saying, right? So I'm looking at that nervous secret come back around a little bit, and I'm just asking questions. All right. And so here they decide what they're going to try to do is aim for Devon County, which is the new Artem County. And Artem is where they decided Teek's mother, her heritage is from. This may be where the father has gone to. So we have to get to Devon County to see what's up, where's my daddy, and what does it all mean about my mother's heritage. Look what Doris said about Devon County. Doris said it's giving death. Doris said it's giving 13. She said it's giving bad luck. And she's seeing these images in her dreams regarding these places. It's an omen, baby. So let's look for the daddy. We still got to look for clues for the daddy. We go back home to father's apartment, and there are not one, but two copies of The Count of Monte Cristo. And this is a real story, and this is a novel based on Alexandre Dumas in 1844, which focuses on a man who's wrongfully imprisoned and then escapes. He eventually amasses a fortune and takes revenge on those who conspired against him. This is what we find in Daddy's house. So we know there was a clue from visiting Bessie's bar where Teek went to go look for his daddy. The owner said, this is a white man that came through. He looked like a lawyer because he was rich. Came, swept your daddy up and took him. He got a lot of money. So if we're looking at the story of this wrongfully imprisoned person amassing wealth and going on a revenge hunt, compared with this freed Black man taken by this wealthy white man, something is awry. Come on, foreshadow. Yes, something is awry. Okay. And here in the copy of this book, we find a picture of Teek's mother, who's Black. Okay. Need not worry. She is Black. Something's back in Korea. I don't know what it is, right? But somebody's telling Teek you shouldn't have went home. It's bad down there. You can look at him literally sunken in red, sunken in danger, sunken in like this omen weighing on him. We see these colors of red, white, and blue sitting in again. But something back there, something in Teek's past is costing him. Something in Teek's past ain't clean. It's something back there, right? And up until this point, Teek has been in white. He's only been wearing white. To me, it was giving like he's a blank slate. He has so much to learn. He's on a journey of discovery. He's coming home as this simple man with dreams. But then he does this. Ooh. Why do y'all think Teek is in green here when he's deciding to go on this journey? Why do we switch from white to green? That phone call was ominous as hell. It sure was. Mara says it's giving Korean Bay. He got a Korean wife. They got a Korean lover. That's right. They used to do that back then. They was good for marrying them nice little Korean ladies. Why do we think Teek is in green? Oh, y'all shy now. What happened? Simone says new beginnings with Latasha. Latasha motherfucking Lewis. Oh, God, my back, y'all. Oh, my God. I'm not good. I am not okay. I'm gonna jump in here. From the beginning, he was carrying this. Him and Latasha about to do a little something. Okay, Matt, because you want something else. You want a different thing. From the beginning, we saw him carrying around this green bag, right? This is his Army veteran bag. And so I believe at this point, when he makes the shift, he's stepping into his hero role. There's something to fix. I know the danger. I know the stakes. I know there is lions and tigers and bears. Oh, wow, right? I know there's these things that are going to cost me, but I'm going to go find my father and I'm going to go discover my mother's heritage. And with all these odds stacked against me, like that hero in his book that he was reading on the bus, he's stepping into it. He's stepping into, and what he knows as heroism so far is his army veteran, right? That's the only hero cloak he has at this moment. So that's what he uses and that's what he wears to go against this journey. Latasha fine as hell. Being bisexual is crazy. So Dora has a comic which she changed from Panther Man to Orinthia Blue. Again, merging the past and the future, right? We go from Panther Man, you can theorize the idea of the Black Panthers being a real historical group, to this futuristic fictional lady hero. But I want to pay attention to the colors yet again. Here's another hypothesis. Orinthia Blue is in blue, as is Dora, but also her mother is just a color off from blue in that little pastel green, right? And the mother, when we met her getting a little freaked up under the sheets in the beginning of the show, was telling her husband George that she wants to start traveling too. He's like, "You a woman, it's not safe. I got bad knees from it." He's really like, this is not really the road for you, right? And so you have Dora with these visions and these dreams, and she dreams of a woman hero. I think both of them are going to play a little bit into the series, into these people's salvation, into Tick's salvation, into George's salvation. They're going to become women heroes as well. Hypothesis. Okay? And what I love about this series is that the women in the story are just as usable and as heroic as the men, right? Not shying away from it at all. They want to step up. We have Dora creating heroes, and we have the mother saying, "I want to hit the road with you, or I can start going by myself and then start doing these pamphlets," stepping into it. I see y'all talking in the chat where Latasha saw Atticus with no shirt on and getting wet in the water hose. And she said, "Who that?" I know that ain't that scrawny smart boy from back in the day. That can't be him coming back out. I'm going to stop right there because he's too fine. Okay? It's offensive. A series of art in the series imitating real life. These are images drawn from the famed photographer, Gordon Parks. Oh my God, what am I saying? Gordon Parks. As Tick and Uncle George and Letty, nickname, begin their road trip, on the radio we hear a famous dialogue, my brain is all over the place, by James Baldwin. And we hear James Baldwin say, "I find myself, not for the first time, in the position of a kind of a Jeremiah." This is a real and historic speech from James Baldwin using his legendary debate with William F. Buckley in the 1965 "Is the American Dream at the Expense of the American Negro?" Again, bringing back those themes of what is a dream for America versus what's the scar of it, what's the trash of it, right? And Baldwin in the speech wins the debate by far, and it's later titled "The American Dream and the American Negro" because both of them do not collide. What white folks have as the American dream is that Jackie Robinson glorified hero do not find true for Black folk down here on the soil. And we see this lovely Black family being ignored at the ice cream stand. The little girl said, the little girl was exhausted. She was like, "I just came out for a cone." We have more images here by Gordon Parks, layering. This is another photo reference called "The American Way." And this was taken by Margaret Bourke-White for Life magazine. And this photo shows Black Americans lined up outside of the relief agency after a flood, after a disaster. So we have all of these real images. This was a real sundown town sign, and they replicated it for the series here. The top image shows a sign placed across from the Sojourner Truth housing project in Detroit in 1942. And the bottom is what Lovecraft Country passed while they're on their trip. So on our way to Devon County, Marriage Cherie says the misogyny jumps out, but Dora saw Letitia saving them come through. Oh, I think I missed what that was in reference to. So on our journey to Devon County, we have to pass through Simmonsville. Woo! And you can see the pairing of red meaning two double things, right? We have red for the fire department because they are the danger. And we have the red car because they are in danger. They are literally a moving target, right? I want to come back here to colorism real quick and read the siren on Letitia, who gets to be outside daring to look at white women in their face and daring them to do something about it. Is she safe to do that because this is light skin privilege at work? Can Ruby come down here and outside and do that and be safe and keep walking? Just bringing it to your attention. A great scene here. As we saw in the show, this scene was tilted, and Jordan Peele did that a lot in Twilight Zone. He has the Dutch angle is what this called, when it just feels uneasy, it feels out of reality, it feels wrong, right? And something is wrong because on their map, on Uncle George's map, it said this place would be Lydia's. But when we got there, it's not. It's not Lydia's at all. And so what we have here is the discovery that this used to be Lydia's, but Lydia dared serve Black folk, had her place burned down. Uncle George asked, Atticus asked Uncle George, do you remember why the White House was painted white? You go, yeah, because it was burned down. So Atticus lifts the floor tile, shows the burn marks, right when Letty is in the back discovering that server boy telling him, I didn't serve him, I promise, I didn't serve him, because I saw what you did to Lydia. What we have, our girl running now, get your ass up, we gotta get the fuck up out of here right now. Like I said, Letitia is that girl. And looking like a centerfold at the same day, a centerfold, ooh. Y'all are in a different element today, I gotta say. Get your ass up, we gotta get the fuck out of here right now. Letty, the heroine, the hero, red being paired against each other yet again. A service of safety, the fire department becomes a threat. The fire department shooting these Black folk, probably at the reason why Lydia's is burned down, right? A symbol, a service of safety is the threat. Letty getting up out the way, right? This is the American way. When I say I want me a man, this is what the hell I'm asking for. This is what I'm asking. Shoot. Is it so hard? Protect, shoot. A man, okay? Right here, a man. And we have salvation. Now we gotta wait a minute, because I didn't rewind this part so many times. I wanted to make sure I was seeing what I was seeing. Some magical force interrupts the chase, right? And Dora, when she was hypothesizing what was down here in this town, she was like, there's trolls in that town, right? Double entendre, trolls, the white folk, and trolls, these magical, mythical beings. Some magical force interrupts the chase, flips them on their head. And listen, I used to be a fashion girl. I thought I was going to be in fashion for a long time. So I knew this model as soon as I saw her. This is Abby Lee, all right? One of the top models a few years ago, branching into acting, okay. And I was wondering if this is a form of the Red Princess. Has the Red Princess taken a human form to help Atticus on his journey, protecting him? She was like, I just want to let you know I'm here, letting you know who I am. Let's just stay right here for a second. Let's just sit with this, because this is nice. This is real nice. This is a still, an image, if you will, of dead white racists. And I like it. I like it a lot. Let's move on. We meet Marvin, Letty's brother, and he shares a story about Bideford. And this was also art imitating life. Even though there isn't a Bideford, Massachusetts, there is a Bideford in the UK, and that was a site of 1682 witch trials. And what Letty's brother says is true, but it was just superimposed for a fake town. And he says one of the evidence against a supposed witch was that she had sex with the devil. And the devil was in the shape of what? A Black man, of course, right? And 3 women were hanged. People were hanged. Oh, I wanted to have sex with a fine Black man. Must have been the devil. Well, how about you all dead? Because number 1, you want to lie. Number 2, he's Black. And number 3, you out here being foolish, playing with the devil. So how about you all go? That's how they handle that in Bideford. It's not right. It's not right. So Marvin here is helping them prep for Devon County. And we see that red right on that cop, don't we? We see that red. And this goes back to the book that Teak was reading at Uncle George's bookshop. And this plays as a double entendre. And he says this town does not like outsiders. They don't like outsiders in that town. Okay? And let's pay attention to history. We have witch hunters who became what? Slave hunters, who are now cops, all wearing that badge, all hunting the bad folk, all hunting devils in the form of Black folks, right? And Marvin says something super important here. Between the wild animals and this guy, I don't know who I'd rather run into. Between the monsters of the woods and this white cop, he don't know which is worse. And this is particularly true for Black folk. This is equal terror. Whatever is hiding in the woods and this white cop is equally as bad. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yes, yes. So look at George Secret popping out. He couldn't even hide if he wanted to. Why do you got a picture of my mother in your wallet when you got a whole wife and kid at home? Where's their photos, George? And you just got off the phone with Dora and your wife. And here you are looking at my mother. Let's move on. We in Devon County. We in Devon County on the way to Artem. We in Devon County. And we hear something rustling in the woods. It's about to be sundown. We hear something rustling in the woods, right? And Teak, being a lover and a fan of his book, says, oh yeah, it's a Shoggoth. Again, coming back to H.P. Lovecraft's hierarchies of monsters. So in Lovecraft's stories, he's putting them in levels. You gotta go through levels to get to the ultimate monster. And some of these hierarchies are like Shoggoths and Yog Sossoths. He liked to put consonants together so we could look stupid. But Shoggoths is at the bottom, and what's at the top? The Cthulhu. That big tentacle winged monster we met, the first monster we met at the opening of this episode, is the top. That is the biggest monster to defeat that Jackie Robinson took care of with a bat. If you want to talk about it, right? So here he's joking about he hears a Shoggoth, but let's look at the colors real quick. You see the divide in colors? Y'all see it? Red to the left and blue to the right. So here we have Latisha and George being paired as targets who are endangered. But why is Teak match the police? Why does Teak match the police? Both are heroes who are in danger, right? They are both the protectors and the shame of America. So you have Teak, who's a hero because he's an Army vet, but he's in danger of the police. And you have Teak, who's the shame of America because it took Black men, Black women to build the country. And it took this ugly thing called racism to even have a country. And you got that paired with police brutality and slavery. And you have the police who are supposed to be symbols of service and protection, who are in danger of whatever the hell's in them woods. And let's meet what's in them woods. Shagat. Shagat. Jordan said, was I the only one thrown by Latasha's red outfit? I hope I cleared it up for you, Jordan. I hope I cleared it up for you. Elle said, Teek's dad is a brother. Look, we hypothesizing. Everybody is under the attack. Shagat is out. Sun's down, right? They got out that setup from that first cop in Devon County who said, you got to be out of here by 7:06. They made it, but drove into more cops who led them to the woods, who met Shagat. And it's revealed that sundown town served more danger for Black folks. Because now you got to worry about racism and the cops and the towns and the fire department. And you got to worry about this too. Like, damn, I can't just go see my mom. It got to be all this. We got double the slate to deal with as Black folk. And don't we always? So Tick thought he was going to be a hero, but guess who becomes the hero? Latasha motherfucking Lewis. You better believe Latasha motherfucking Lewis becomes the hero. And they have this beautiful dialogue right here. I'm terrified. What do they teach you, not to be scared in the army? And Teek says, fear is not going to save us right now. You are. When I said I want a man, when I said I want me a man, Max said the double meaning of sundown was brilliant. Iconic, legendary is what we call that around here. You absolutely right, Matt. Mara says the cop scene was hella scary and hella triggering. Look, I ain't never had a cop like that. I ain't never had a cop like that. Elle says my anxiety was on a trillion during this scene. I was scared like I was in the car. It was crazy, right? Letty becoming the hero. You gonna save us. Letty runs. Racist cop turns into a monster. We have that reverse dialogue. Before, Tick was in the diner asking, you remember, Uncle George, why they painted the White House white? And so now we have a reverse where Uncle George asks Tick, you remember what happens when a vampire bites a human? The human becomes a vampire. So now we have this racist cop turning into a monster, an elevated monster, because he already was one. It's the gag. The gag is he was already a monster. Look what Black folk got to deal with. Whew. And like we learned, Shagats are fearful of the light, like white folks. See, white folk don't want you to attend to the scars. They don't want you to attend to the darkness of this country, because then they'd have to face the monsters that they are. Always want to keep in the light. They don't like the light, right? Don't shine a light on the past, on American history. They hate that. White folk hate that. Like Shagats, they are fearful of the light. Here, we have the lines blurred between danger and hero, using the color red as the danger and the salvation at the same time, just like that baseball bat. It is the danger and the salvation at the same time. Let's think of the color themes of the American flag that were used in this episode. Red on the American flag is the blood that was shed to fight for liberty. It is also the blood that it cost to even have this country. It cost African blood. It cost Native blood. It cost Mexican blood to even have this country, for liberty, for freedom, for safety. That red, it cost everything, right? But we're saved. I really loved this visual full circle moment when he's walking as this green, naive army vet coming home with a favorite book and a story and just helping this woman. And he was just so new and leaving like this war hero. Look at him taking another walk, right? We lost our form of transportation. We got to walk. Leaving like the hero in the book that he read. Looking exactly like that book when we opened up on the bus, he was in a white top and blue jeans holding that red book. But now he's almost become the red book, right? We see him stained. Beautiful. We finally made it to Artem. We want to see what Tick's mom's heritage lies for Tick. We want to see if Daddy's here. We want to see what this big legacy awaits for him. Harper, who that? Who is that? They said Letty ain't trip either. Absolutely not. Harper, who is this man? Remember down at Vessie's bar, they said your father left with a rich white man. He had a lot of money, he had a big old car. That car was sitting right up front. And this man who's giving Arian Ray says, Mr. Freeman, welcome home. Home? Home? Excuse me? Home? So tonight is episode 2. We are going to be catching up with what this all means, what legacy awaits Tick, what kind of hero he becomes, and Letty becomes. Uncle George with his bad knees bashed down to the Green Mile. Okay. Ellie Luna, welcome to the room. And it's exciting. This is going to be a good series, y'all. So I'm so happy that we got to do this together. Our first Sunday. Next Sunday is our next Patreon exclusive dissection. I'm hella excited. And tomorrow, not tomorrow, I always think tomorrow. Tuesday, we are back on YouTube with the I May Destroy You dissection finale. And if you are a patron, I am also doing a dissection workshop this Wednesday. We are dissecting Eve's Bayou, one of my favorite childhood movies. And it's super exciting for me because I hadn't revisited it as an adult. And not just with like adult knowledge, but like film knowledge. Wednesday night is going to be good. And we don't chat in the chat box on the dissection workshops. We do video to video so I can see y'all and y'all can talk to me in real time. Don't miss that. We have so much content coming up. I thank you for being here with me today. Listen, I thank y'all so much. Let me see what y'all saying. Y'all excited? Y'all hype? The show got you entangled? Don't do it. Don't do it. Thank y'all so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So Tuesday it is. I'll see y'all then. Bye. Oh, wait, hold up. Mara has a question. Can new patrons watch past dissections? DM me. I want to see what you mean by that. DM me. All right. See y'all later.